Hello everybody, Mr. Sick of Shit here. You know why? I don't have to tell you. I have some things to talk to you about today that are, I'm always bringing you serious topics, but these are both probably about the most serious that I have brought you yet. First of all, I figured out quite some time ago. That's why, one of the reasons anyway, a big reason for why I will not go to church anymore, anywhere, because I know that, first of all, these people don't know what they're talking about. They've been brainwashed into believing X, Y, or Z, A, B, or C, and they, in their own brainwashed state, they continue to brainwash others. I won't be one of those people. I just won't. One of the biggest things that they have brainwashed their congregations into believing is that astrology is in some way demonic. Well, I have news for you. That has been a lie since the first time that it was spoken, and it is still a lie today. And I'm going to give you some biblical examples. First example, it's pretty obvious that astrology is not from the devil. Who was it that came from far off in the east to not only see Christ when he was born, but to worship him? Yes, this says 3 kings, but what did they say? They said, we saw his star and came to worship him. What do you think that is if it's not astrology? They were astrologers, or they wouldn't have known that this star symbolized the birth of a king, and they wouldn't have known where to go. Let me give you some other biblical examples. Genesis 1:14. Now, it is unusual to say this for me because, it shouldn't be. It's just something that I learned today. KJV is not always accurate. A lot of the time, it's not as accurate as some of these. Most of the time it is, but sometimes it's not. We'll just put it that way. According to the KJV, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. Seasons here does not mean growing seasons. Let's go to the New International Version and see what it has to say. This is way more accurate. And God said, let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times, days, and years. Sacred times is talking about the high holy festivals, those periods of time that God specifically gave to his people to partake in various rituals. And let's make something clear. God, the true God, is not bloodthirsty. He never told any of these people ever to sacrifice animals. He never had any interest in the blood of animals at all. He never did. You can let that go. That was never from God. That is a ritual that the Jews borrowed or stole, whatever you want to call it, from their pagan neighbors, and they incorporated that into their own rituals and claimed that it came from Yahuwah. No, it didn't. It came from the pagans. Who did they worship? they worshipped the Nephilim, who had terrorized them into treating them like gods. Okay, now let's go to Luke 21. Through 36. See what this has to say. And there will be signs in the sun, in the moon, and the stars, and on the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them from fear and the expectation of those things which are coming on the earth, for the power of the heavens will be shaken. Then will we see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Now, when these things begin to happen, look up and lift your heads, because your redemption draws near. Okay. Does it make it any clearer? God is the greatest astrologer of all, and astrology comes from Him. It did not come from Satan or out of hell. It's obvious, very clear. Get that out of your head. You've been lied to. You've been brainwashed. I used to be one of those same people, because I was a kid. I didn't know any better. I trusted these people. They were adults. My mom and dad trusted them. I thought I could too. And then I started reading the Bible and seeing what it said for myself, and from a very young age couldn't say anything to my mom. She'd slap me. Because she was convinced these people were telling the truth, even though it was right there in the Bible that they were lying. Some people you just can't talk to. Once they get to that brainwashed state, most of the time, it's impossible to take them out of it or bring them out of it, whatever. God has to do that Himself, and it was God who did it for me. Hopefully He will do it for you as well if you don't understand this. Now, folks, this eclipse that's coming up, I got news for you. It's big, it's important, and we're going to see some... I could be wrong what it's going to be. I could be. But I don't think I am. I really do believe that the New Madrid fault line, we're going to see a catastrophe there, maybe worse than the one that happened back in the 1800s. Two of them, actually. One of those caused the Mississippi River to flow backwards. And it lasted for a while. What do you think is going to happen if that happens now? Major supply chain disruption for I don't even know how long. This bridge in Baltimore that collapsed, I'm telling you, that was not an accident. It was deliberate. Do you really think that it is any kind of coincidence that it was a Ukrainian supply chain? A supply ship? Please. No, it wasn't. They are helping the white-haired troll destroy this country. Don't think that there aren't going to be more disasters like this. The sewage that leaked out in Dallas, 1 million gallons of sewage. Folks, I'm telling you, these are happening because this eclipse is coming. And God is warning everyone, get your house in order and do it now. I had a dream yesterday that I am absolutely certain came from God, and it was prophetic in some kind of way. In the dream, I was sleeping, and all of a sudden, this RV started moving across this property for some reason onto the property next door. Not even, well, it's owned by someone, but nobody lives there. And then once I realized what had happened, got out and saw what had happened, I wasn't on this property, but that property over there. My mom, for some reason, was sitting over there in what looked like a lawn chair, and I was asking her, what's going on? What happened? And her response was, I just saw 6 or 7 commies flying overhead within the last, I don't even remember how long ago it was, how long it was that she said it was, but that was what she said. And then all of a sudden, this man, off, not very far in the distance, just a little ways off, is standing with a gun, wanting to show it to my mom. And of course, she went over there and she looked at it, and they had some conversation. And then that was when my dad was coming to ask me something from outside and woke me up out of my dream. I'm telling you folks, that was prophetic. Something is going to happen that is going to physically move people, displace people. How severely it's going to happen, I don't know, but people are going to be moved out of place. They're going to be displaced. And the whole commies flying over thing, I mean, invasion, potential invasion. This is serious. This is serious. I do not have dreams like this unless God is telling me something, and I am now telling you, get your house in order. I don't know how many people, could be millions of people affected by this. And if we have another earthquake like the 2 we had back then along the New Madrid fault line, folks, it's going to be catastrophic for the entire country. Absolutely catastrophic. Am I 100% sure that's going to happen? No, but I really do believe it's very possible that it might. It's very possible that it might. And if it's not that, it's going to be something else just as big that will be just as disruptive to the entire country. Sorry I went on this long, but I had a lot to go over, a lot to cover that you need to hear. And please, please, share this with anybody who will listen. And please, tell people. Explain to them what I explained to you the same way I explained it to you. Tell people. They need to know. Tell them not to be afraid. Don't panic. Just get ready as best as you can. Till next time, Mr. Sick of Shit, signing out.